Welcome everybody to this session. Thank you. We are going to discuss the basics of SCOM upgrades and migrations, including migration to Azure Monitor SCOM Managed Instance, which is a long way of saying SCOM MI. Keep in mind we only have 45 minutes for a topic that can cover at least a whole day. So let's get started. Just for those who do not know me yet, I'm Bob Cornelissen from the Netherlands. People from the community gave me the nickname Scom Bob. But I actually do a lot more things than just that. But of course, I am most known for my Scom stuff. Currently, I'm a 12-year Microsoft MVP for cloud and data center management, and I am the technical director for TopQore and Innovized and related companies. I do play carom billiards, which is my hobby. That is billiards without holes in the table, and I'm also a licensed referee for that. And the House of Tales is a certified animal charity looking after about 70 dogs and a few cats in 2 locations in Thailand. So come and find us on Facebook, for example. Shortly about where I work. TopQore is an IT consultancy based in the Netherlands with team members spread across several countries and delivering consultancy services to customers worldwide. Doesn't matter to us where you live. We have a specialization in Microsoft monitoring and management tooling and are most well known for SCOM services. Some of our main services are listed here, being a SCOM health check to view and confirm the current status of your SCOM environment, SCOM trainings at different levels from operator to admin to specialist, and of course our community efforts such as these free webinars. We do implementations, migrations, upgrades, and extending monitoring and dashboarding. And we have a knowledge partnership. And we do also do maintenance as a service to help to keep your monitoring environment running and healthy. So let's get on to the topic at hand. So I made here a short overview of SCOM versions from a while back to today, and also looking forward to the end of this year. So we have a column here, and the column has two halves of it. Sometimes the bottom half is standing for the mainstream support, which is the 5 first years after Microsoft releases a product. And the top half stands for the extended support. And when that one ends, if you have extended support. Now, mostly no update rollups are expected after mainstream support ends, except for certain cases. Now, if we look at SCOM 2019 in the middle there, it went into extended support a few weeks ago after it got update rollup 6, and now we are sitting in extended support. So keep in mind to have a look and have a ask if your organization has extended support or not, because otherwise you might want to move faster as well to a higher version. We have here SCOM 2022 listed as the current version, and we have SCOM MI listed here as well to the right, which is today a version of SCOM 2022, but living in the cloud and with a little bit of changes in the infrastructure. And SCOM 2025 is expected to be released with Windows Server 2025 in the last few months of this year. As you can see, we want to be moving up to 2022 at least, and we know many are on versions lower than that. Actually, let's have a look. So I asked Bruce yesterday for a quick peek before the Big SCOM survey actually ended to already see what's in here. So yesterday, these were the stats. You can see here that the first two are in mainstream support at a little bit of over a third of the users. SCOM 2019 and 16 are nearly half of the deployments put together, and they are in extended support. Now, I'm almost sure not everybody in that group has extended support, so be careful there and have a look at moving up. As I said, we don't expect updates for those anymore, and remember that not everybody has it. So we see also 1807, 2012, and 2007. They are well out of support, and they are about 10% as well. And what is also interesting is the 5% which is missing if you add up all of those numbers. But that's fine. So that brings us to why we upgrade. Well, we have to have a supported version. So this means that we get regular updates as well, which contain hotfixes, bug fixes, and new features as well. Along with those updates and full version upgrades come also security fixes and features. Or we might be on a transition path to hybrid infrastructures between the data center and the cloud, where we could have the option of using SCOM Managed Instance. So let us quickly pick up a reminder of what was or is included in the last few versions of SCOM. And I'm starting at 2019 and keeping it quite short. So 2019 came with full HTML5 dashboards without legacy dependencies, added support for newer SQL versions for running SCOM, maintenance mode improvements while also starting it from the agent. We have new Linux and operating systems supported with agents and management packs. We had the new Windows operating system obviously supported, 2019 back then, for running SCOM and the agent. And we had performance improvements, which isn't always easy to achieve without messing up the code of a product. Now, let's move on to the next. For SCOM 2022, I did a webinar at SCOMathon 2 years ago with a longer list of updates and what they look like, so you can watch a recording of that if you want to know more. For now, I just want to highlight a few of the items here. We have a new set of built-in and custom roles for the administrator RBAC roles, whereby we have a read-only admin for auditors and several options for custom admins who can be limited to do, for example, only agent management or only work with notification subscriptions. We have an updated option for alert closure to be able to close an alert from a monitor if that monitor is still in an unhealthy state. Now, this new option would also update the health state back to green while closing the alert, so that the dashboards and alert lists both show the same thing. So you don't end up with an empty list of alerts and still have a red dashboard. For the installations, there have been improvements as well, especially while deploying to clustered SQL instances for the SCOM databases. In this version, there's also full group managed service account support from RTM going up. A number of visual changes have been done to some of the views here and there throughout the product based on the requests made by the community. A nice one is an additional column in an alert view, which points out if an alert is from a rule or a monitor, for example. And a Teams notification channel has been added instead of the old IM channel, which was there before. And of course, this version of SCOM can be run on Windows Server 2022 for the infrastructure components as well. And of course, SQL 2022. Looking ahead a little bit into what has been released to public at this stage about SCOM 2025. Well, of course, the reason to release SCOM 2025 is because of Windows Server 2025. So it will be released with Windows Server 2025, preferably at the same time. System Center with the main products and SCOM will work with the other products of the same suite of the same version. So SCOM needs to work with Orchestrator, needs to work with DPM, etc. Security is always a topic right now. My best guesses, given the limited info about SCOM 2025 and System Center 2025, are these. So we want to try to reduce the TLS 1.3 support. We want to introduce TLS 1.3 support available in Windows 2022 and up. And we try to reduce or lower the reliance on NTLM and CRED SSP as much as possible. I'm not sure if they can get rid of it completely in this version, but they are trying to get as far as possible at least. And there will be other items that we cannot talk about right now for different reasons because, well, they are not public yet. In a few months' time, this will be the new target to upgrade to or to migrate to. And I do not expect the topic that I'm talking about today to be very different for that version either. So when I'm talking today about migrating towards SCOM 2022, then you can assume that most or all will work towards the migration to 25 as well. It's just a timing issue. All right, so I've now talked you into upgrading to a newer version of SCOM. Now what? Well, first we need to decide the version of SCOM that we want to go to. However, that also means we need to select the Windows and SQL versions belonging to it, except for SCOM Managed Instance, where this is already being taken care of for you, right? So it will deploy a Windows and a SQL MI for you. So that you don't care about. But for on-prem, you do need to care about these. We will talk about the combination of Windows and SQL with SCOM in the next 2 slides. Now we need to decide on how to get to that new version, or in short, our migration scenario. So do we have to do a side-by-side migration by setting up a new SCOM and then moving everything across to it? Or can we do an in-place upgrade from the current setup to a higher version? So this is what I call the SCOM upgrade tree. You might have seen it before. It shows the SCOM versions and their direct upgrade path, including to SCOM MI to the left-hand side. Now, as you can see, this is mostly a possible in-place upgrade by one version up. So we had a little sidestep to semi-annual channel to the right-hand side, but we will ignore that in the next slides because you should migrate off it to a higher version as soon as possible anyway. It's no longer supported. And we see that we can currently go to SCOM MI from a SCOM 2019 and SCOM 2022 version. At least those are the supported path. And of course, we will expect a line to be coming later from 2025 towards MI as well. So here we have the SCOM versions again, and now we will add the Windows versions that it can run on. Where are they? Here they are. A SCOM version listed on the right supports running on the Windows and SQL versions right above and below the red line. So if we take SCOM 2022, it will run on Windows 2019 right below the line and Windows 2022 right above the line. Now let's add some SQL to it. Looking again at SCOM 2022, we will see that we have SQL 2017 and 19 below the line. And of course, we also see SQL 2022 above that line as well as supported within this version. Now, we need to pick a combination of those to run SCOM 2022 on. As you can see, we have 2 potential Windows versions and 3 potential SQL versions, which apply if you want to install SCOM 2022 today. But if we want to be able to in-place upgrade next time to a higher version of SCOM, let's say 2025, we need to have the right combination prepared. So in this case, I would go for the highest combination version, which is Windows 2022 with SQL 2022 and SCOM 2022, if you want to install a fresh new SCOM today. Because it is likely, most likely, that you can support SCOM 2025 on those platforms, on Windows 2022 and SQL 2022 at the very least. For example, support for SQL 2017 would be very uncertain at this point because it's already 7 years old, going on 8. So try to look forward to make your best bet here. There is no newer SQL version being released before Windows and System Center yet, so I'm assuming that 22 is at least going to be supported because there's nothing newer than that available. All right, so we have our combination. So In bullets, while we are deciding which type of migration we are going to do, the decision which method to use depends not just on the SCOM version, but also, as you see, on the Windows and SQL version as well. If there are too many upgrades of these three products involved at the same time in production, there's a larger chance to mess things up. But also, there will be many steps involved. In most of those cases, but not all, I prefer to select a side-by-side migration, because otherwise you would have to first update Windows, then SQL, then SCOM, then Windows again, then SQL again, then SCOM again. So, there are many steps to get updated in an in-place update scenario, especially if your Windows and SQL versions are lower. For example, 2016. When going for a side-by-side migration, I have a tip to set up your new environment on the latest versions of the supported products, as we have just discussed, because again, it gives you the possibility to then do an in-place upgrade next time to the new version of SCOM. And since that's only half a year away, if you do a clean setup now, in order to move forward towards your new SCOM environment, get rid of the old unsupported ones or out of mainstream support, get to 2022 first on the latest versions of Windows, SQL, and SCOM, and then you can easily in-place upgrade again later. Next, you will then copy over the configuration, multi-home the agents, migrate with less production impact if you do a side-by-side. So when upgrading or migrating a complex piece of infrastructure with varying numbers of connections to other systems, we need to create a plan. What we always do when doing a migration is to run our technical health check. Why? Well, because we have one. So this is to find out if we are able to do a direct upgrade or to find any existing issues, for example, which we don't want to carry forward. In order to avoid carrying those forward, we run these kind of checks. Or to decide to go for a side-by-side migration if something essential cannot be fixed in the old system. For example, SQL settings which are very specific. When we find out that everything is ready for a simple in-place upgrade button, we can consider throwing in the virtual SCOM DVD and hitting the enter button several times until the main update finishes. And yes, I do have one of those huge enter buttons right here, and it actually works. So after a migration or implementation, we always again run the SCOM health check, both as a check if we forgot something, but also to serve as documentation, because we can spit out a document based on it. So when we make a plan, what needs to be part of our plan? Well, we first include steps for Windows and SQL implementation. And then next for SCOM, we have the major and the minor steps. And we would consider the organization steps as well, such as we need to create designs, we need to arrange COP changes for the change advisory board. Now, put these steps in a somewhat logical order. Granted, some steps will run simultaneously, that doesn't matter. For each step, determine how much time it costs to get it done. Who is going to do these steps? This can be a SCOM admin or a DBA, somebody on the networking or security team, or an external consultant. Note if, for example, a change is needed and approved by the change board, or if others, such as monitoring users, need to be notified. That way you can work through your worksheet and put checkboxes or change colors according to where you are in each step. And a timeline can be made from this plan. Some migrations may take hours to days, and others require a process spread across several months. It all depends on your organization as well. Now, let's focus on SCOM again. Starting with the in-place upgrade scenario. A few of these items will be true for the migration scenario as well, of course. When you want to in-place upgrade, we start the story again with making sure your versions are up to date for Windows, SQL, and SCOM. As we have talked about before, but I'm repeating this point because it is important. Remember that SCOM upgrade tree slide. Also, you need to be sure that the current SCOM environment is healthy. This is because upgrading a half-broken system will result in a fully broken system. You must make sure that you have an account with the correct rights. This account must be local administrator on the SCOM infra servers, including the management servers, the SQL servers, also in a cluster scenario, and the SCOM web and report servers. It must be a sysadmin in SQL, and it must be a SCOM admin as well. As a tip, I prefer to temporarily use the SCOM data access account for this, or maybe the account which did the original SCOM installation. Using a personal admin account can sometimes result in databases becoming owned by an owner with a personal account. So that is why I usually use either a dedicated install account for this, or I use one of the service accounts if it has the correct rights for this. Or I temporarily give it more rights in order to do it, and then take the rights away again. For an in-place upgrade, there are a few steps generally that you need to do to start, such as making sure that you have plenty of space in the SCOM database at 50% and that its transaction log file is bigger than normal. So this is because the amount of data going through it at the time of upgrading. We remove some agents from pending management, and we can disable the notification subscriptions. We also disable connectors from other products. We disable the IIS web console site in IIS, and we can clean the ETL table with a script. Now, this script is listed on the applicable documentation sites as well. Microsoft has that all documented as well in step-by-steps. Also, make sure you have complete backups of management servers and all SCOM databases, and have a copy of applicable management packs if possible, or use software such as Select MP Studio to have a repository of management packs ready. I would start with the RMSE server. So we restart the RMSE emulator server. So that's the management server which was installed first. And this is to remove pending restarts and avoid some processes on the SCOM side getting stuck during the upgrade. So this is one of those lessons learned from the past. Usually it's either the monitoring host getting stuck, or there is a pending reboot from another product. But the SCOM upgrade wizard is made to honor that waiting state for waiting for a pending reboot. So it has to wait in that case. So just reboot the machine, that will clear everything up. Then we stop all of the SCOM related services on the other management servers, so they do not interfere with us at that moment. And we can start the upgrade wizard, so the SCOM installation wizard, to upgrade our RMSE management server. Please do not start the SCOM install wizard on multiple servers at the same time, because I have seen this happen where people say, well, let's just start the wizard on every server, and we do not press the final go button, the finish button. If you do that, it will cause problems. So use that install wizard only on one management server at the same time. Same goes for the upgrades. It's as easy as that to do it. Please do not start it and then stop it halfway. So I cannot list all of the detailed steps here because there's not enough time. But in general, if you move through these SCOM infra servers one by one while upgrading their SCOM components. So we have the management servers with or without SCOM consoles. We have web and report services. We have the ACS component perhaps that you need to update. So we go through them one by one, not just one by one on the server, because a single server might have several different roles, and we need to upgrade those as well. Next, you will enable the connectors, notification channels again, which you turned off at the beginning. You can upgrade the gateways, followed by SCOM agents and consoles. Then, depending on the timing and the size of your environment, you might be able to do a few of these last steps before enabling the connectors and notifications again. It just depends. If it's only a few hours, then you can just finish your work first and then enable it. And if you expect, for example, that agent stuff and the console stuff to take days or weeks, then of course you can already start enabling SCOM to work as normal. Having a few agents and consoles not upgraded yet should not stop you from acting as if the main upgrade is finished. That is the point here. Keep in mind also, one more thing is that you also might have update rollups. So as you know, SCOM 2019 has update rollup 6, SCOM 2022 has update rollup 2, and there are actually also a few post hotfixes after update rollup 2. So this is something to keep in mind. What is advised to do is not to first run an update and then immediately, like in a minute after, start the update rollup 2, because SCOM needs to initialize first. It needs to first do an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 of work to get everything initialized and stable again before going forward to the update rollup 2. So that is the official advice, and I would keep to that as well. Or you can do it, the SCOM upgrade in the one day, and then the next day do the update rollup 2 and whatever else comes with it. It doesn't matter for the agents, by the way. We are talking now about the management server's backend. All right, so if we are not doing an in-place upgrade, then we are likely going to do a side-by-side scenario, where we migrate from an existing older environment to a newer SCOM environment, which is built up next to it. So first of all, you make a design of the new management group. Consider the versions, as we talked about before, for SCOM, Windows, and SQL. Very often, your existing SCOM design can be used as a basis for the new one in the same, if the same considerations still apply, outside of version numbers. So thinking about high availability, think about security, think about the number of servers required and their specifications. Are you going to use the same service accounts as the old SCOM environment, or are you going to create new ones? So those are some things to consider and put in your design. And sometimes an existing design can be upgraded, adjusted to become the new design as well. So, like we said before, for a side-by-side migration, you need to set up a new SCOM infrastructure. The existing one just keeps running at the same time in the meantime. We set up new Windows servers. We install our SQL database servers and SQL reporting, whether that's in clustering or not. So that takes some extra steps. We set up a new management group with the first management server and keep adding management servers as needed. Keep in mind this one, since it is a side-by-side migration, it will be a different management group with a different name. So there are some things to keep in mind later on as well. The SCOM reporting server will be built up as well, and we can look at the SCOM web console server and or other web consoles such as SquareUp. And we can get gateways installed as they are needed. In many cases, this does take some more steps within each item, and for that reason, I again highly recommend putting up a list of main and smaller steps for this, so you don't forget too many things. Next, when the SCOM infrastructure has been set up, you are looking at the migration between two environments. Again, also here applies that it is good to have a list of steps. So this is just an example There is talk about management packs in here. We see third-party management packs and solutions. We talk about user roles, notification channels, web watcher nodes, and so on. And the agent migration story is there too, which might be more steps in your case. Because you may want to create a script and maybe an SCCM package to do the agent upgrade in some of the organizations instead of pushing an agent through SCOM. And of course, at the end, there are some steps about cleaning up the connections to the old SCOM, and the old SCOM itself also needs to be cleaned up. But also don't forget about the documentation. We can chat about these steps further in another talk, but again, we are limited in time here. If you have immediate questions about this or need help, please come and find me at TopQore. And of course, we have a booth for that as well. Once your infrastructure is there, we need to step to the management packs, right? Because what SCOM is basically we have an infrastructure, then we have the agents talking to the infrastructure, and then we have the management packs for the monitoring, dashboarding, and everything. So we need to talk about the management packs. You likely have backups of management packs, which we can use to either recover management packs when something goes wrong or to migrate to another SCOM in case we start fresh. Well, this is exactly what we are talking about. Otherwise, make sure that you download the third-party packs that you need and the other sealed management packs from Microsoft and those third-party vendors. And we need to grab, of course, our unsealed management packs, which depend on the sealed ones. So once we have the whole list downloaded and available somewhere, we can start by importing the sealed management packs from Microsoft and the third-party vendors and community packs. So this is a great time to consider leaving out a few packs that you no longer need. For example, all of this Windows 2003 and 2008 stuff, and packs for hardware or applications you no longer have. Consider that when moving to a newer versions of some management pack, they can change a lot. In this case, you may need to update references in management packs connecting to it, which are usually the unsealed management packs. Also, when removing some management packs, we see a need to clean up the management pack references that we no longer have loaded. So this is often a little bit of manual work to do, but once you get the hang of it, you will know what to do and get it done. Also, when we move to a different management group, we need to repoint the web watchers and other types of watcher nodes, which are available in our environment, because they are likely using the management server from the old environment, which is not living in your new environment. And there are more of such examples as well. Of course, you will also have scripts running in the backend, connectors running in the backend, and they also need to reconnect towards your new management group, new management servers, new management group name. So one of the approaches for side-by-side migrations is also to set up a new SCOM in test first. And then you could migrate the management packs to that test environment first and figure out what management packs you need, what prerequisite packs you need to download, which references to clean up. Once you have your set of sealed and unsealed management packs the way you want them in that new test environment, you can simply copy and paste the whole stuff and import everything in the new production SCOM without messing about in the new production too much. Because the cleaning process and finding packs online takes most of the time sometimes. And you can do that in that first step. And then from point 2 to point 3 in this slide is very easy, right? Because you have everything already ready for you. Talking about having things ready, as I said before, there are several tools and methods out there to facilitate the management pack migrations, ranging from manual work in XML files, which I often run into, to using tooling that can help you, like DevOps repositories, automation, EasyTune, for example, to move the overrides across by using a common repository, asking Bob to take care of it, who can then ask a colleague to take care of it, or using select products for this with their migration wizard from any SCOM to any other SCOM, which I will show you in a bit. There are also combinations possible there, and likely, of course. For migrations to SCOM MI, Microsoft has a migration wizard in the portal available to you as well. For other items for moving to SCOM MI, it might be the same story as moving from one SCOM to another, because that is largely the same. So, in order to avoid running a long demo, we actually put in a few screenshots for the select migration wizard to save time. So this is one of the examples here. It's also one of the sponsors hanging around in the booths. So the migration wizard is part of the MP Studio product. You have the right version of it. So it can be used to migrate between SCOM management groups of the same version and to higher versions. So for example, like I said, from an older SCOM to a test SCOM, which is 2022, and then from a 2022 test to 2022 prod, as an example. But also to SCOM MI. We see here a whole list of things that this wizard will try to take care of. Once we select the source SCOM and destination SCOM, we get to the selection of what we want to use this wizard for. Now, in this case, I selected a few common ones such as management packs, user roles, administration settings, and agents. Now, when we get to the management pack story, there are a few screens showing which management packs cannot be migrated and for what reason, and which ones can be migrated. I just selected one of the packs here to migrate as an example, like the DHCP I think I selected here. Next, we can select some user roles because that is one of the things that I wanted to migrate. Run as accounts, resolution states also. And over here we see a small selection of the settings this wizard can move across. The list is actually longer than that. Now, when we skip ahead to the agents section where we can move agents across as well, the great thing is that this wizard tells you about what works and what does not work. And if there's anything you should do yourself. For example, like I said, we might need to distribute a run as account again to the new management servers, or connecting a web watcher again. All of these kind of things, they are explained in the wizard as well. And we can see, for example, one of the agents here cannot be migrated because actually it was already there in the new management group. All right, so that was select. Now let's do the same thing, but for the SCOM MI migration wizard from Microsoft. So if you install a new SCOM Managed Instance, so Azure Monitor SCOM Managed Instance, one of the first things you will see on the welcome screen is this one: import your existing on-premises settings in SCOM MI. Now, and to help you move forward, right? So the current version of this one only picks up the management pack migration. So keep that in mind. There is documentation on the Microsoft site for other items and how to do it, if there are like export commands that you can use and import, or if there are some settings which you should manually do. They have it all documented. And this is another one to help you with the management packs. So there is a migration wizard download, which is a management pack as well. We load that on the old and the new management group. So in the old management group, which has to be at least SCOM 2019 as supported, we run the export configuration task. So that's the big blue button in the middle. You copy then that export file to the other machine where your SCOM console is connected to SCOM MI, and then you import with the other button. We have to configure a run as account to run as well. And after we do that, after waiting a little bit, we will see in the SCOM monitoring pane on SCOM MI a list of management packs with either a green state, so green is saying it's already migrated, it's already there. Yellow is saying we are ready to migrate. We can then run a task in the SCOM console, as you see here in the bottom right, far bottom right of the screen, migrate management pack. And if you do that, it will start moving it across as well. And you can multi-select multiple at the same time as well. If it's red state, then it indicates a management pack that cannot be migrated, and it also will show the reason. It could be, for example, a third-party sealed management pack that is not yet loaded in the new SCOM environment. And SCOM MI can also not grab it from the Microsoft catalog because the third-party packs are not there. So in that case, you would have to manually import the sealed management pack and then move over the rest. All right, so I'm running out of time, so I can't show you more about this right now. So we are talking about creating a one-day workshop on this whole topic, so the migration and upgrade story, very soon. So feel free to contact us. Just remember, most migrations are not 20 minutes clicking in a few items and hoping that everything is migrated. There is usually a lot more to do and a lot more complexity. And yeah, we have discussed in previous slides that things can get more complex. I just wanted to make a quick reference to our SCOM training offerings at the different levels. We run these trainings at very low cost, so the threshold to follow one is very low. We regularly, monthly run operator and admin trainings, which lead to the administrator certification badge. Following that, we have specialist topics which range from designing complex environments. We also have a SCOM MI training, for which we are running a special promotion. So come and visit us at the booth if you are really interested in that. Authoring management packs in the SCOM console. That's also one which is finished about this month. So we will start next month to actually run that in public. And we are also looking into the next training which we will build is about dashboarding with SquaredUp. We will combine forces with the SquaredUp team to build something for you there as well. So given the many questions that we receive around newest versions of SCOM in relation to how to get there, which is exactly the topic for today, for my session today, we actually decided to create a workshop day on this topic and repeat that regularly as well. All right, so there is a Q&A session right after this in the area in the exhibition hall. My colleagues will be hanging around there as well, so find anybody with TopQore in the name. I believe I am also in the next session here, which is a panel session in about 5 minutes, so I can run out, answer one question, and then run back into to see the panel. What I will do is I will be available also after the panel in the Q&A area. So if you cannot get your questions answered around this topic or any other topic, please let me know, and I'll be back there after the panel session as well. And of course, I want to thank you for listening into this event, and thank you very much to the sponsors as well.